for joining today for Ask a Founder. This is my journey that I was very excited to share with everybody, and if anyone has any questions or any comments in between, feel free. I think we were talking about making this a very interactive approach to today, and so please don't hesitate to stop me if you have any questions. And so what I'll be touching into is just a little bit about myself and my journey, some of the it's been about, close to 17 years now. And so I will walk you through what our mission has been and how we've pivoted over the years and what some of our solutions are, as well as what we're trying to do with all that information and working with our clients over the years. And lastly, I'll get into a little bit of advice. My personal advice, everyone is, I know we're all seasoned professionals, and I take it upon myself to really help as many people as we can. And so, Rituja gave you just a little insight about myself, but I've been in the medical device space for close to 30 years, like she mentioned, and I started my first company in 2008, and that was Spectrum Medical Diagnostics. And before I jump a little further, I wanted to just paint you a little picture of why and what my personal why is for even starting the company. I was diagnosed with a very rare autoimmune condition over 20 years ago, and I went from healthy to unhealthy literally overnight. And at that time, with not understanding what was happening with my health and what exactly I needed to do, I wish there were solutions that existed that we have today. And I wish that existed many years ago, because when you go from, like I said, from being perfectly fine to waking up with severe inflammatory attacks, it was really debilitating. And I really wish that there were solutions like this. And so fast forward years now, there are obviously many advancements within the healthcare system, and of course what we do. And so my why was really obviously part of my career that I started within the medical device space, but my real why was to take from my healthcare challenges and really use my journey and my experiences to help and touch as many people as I possibly can. I do work with I have a rare form of arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, and so I do work with the Arthritis Society as well. And so now, jumping back into about me, I've been in this space for many years. I've told you about my why, and we're really trying to elevate patient-centric care and testing. There's a lot of severe health constraints globally, and so I want to take it upon myself to see how we could really take what's happening, take our journey, and just really incorporate all the solutions that we have so that we could, like I said, capture and really tackle as much of the healthcare constraints as we possibly can. And so over the years, with Spectrum Medical, been in business for over 16 years now, and I did start my other software company in 2024. I'm proud to say that I was recognized by BMO for the STEM Spotlight Award, and I just received the Top 25 Women of Influence Award in Canada. And I'm only mentioning this because I want to help inspire others. This is possible for anybody. Putting yourself out there is a great achievement and accomplishment. Even starting a company, in my mind, is such a huge accomplishment. And so, I stepped outside my comfort zone, and I started putting myself out there. More recently, I wanted to take everything that I learned, and I really wanted to work with the Canadian government, hence the being selected as a delegate for a few different trade missions that I've been on recently, Taiwan, Vietnam, Singapore. I just got back about 2 weeks ago from Singapore on another trade mission that I was asked to represent Canada for. And so all of this really drives my passion. I mean, it's my passion to help others, but pulling all this together, this is years of just everything that we've done that's being recognized, and this is possible for anybody. And just to kind of keep going with part of my journey, I built my company from zero. So we had no revenue, it was zero. And I at the time, I was employed for another large organization, and I couldn't leave that position until I knew that I had enough revenue with Spectrum. And so I basically contacted everyone that I knew. I waited for, I mean, I don't think Thermo will like this, but I waited for my non-compete to complete. It was a 6-month non-compete, waited for that to be over. And I basically went back and I called everybody that I was doing business with and encouraged them to come on board to my company. I let them know that I started my own company. I was able to negotiate the same contracts and same solutions that I had done for Thermo Fisher. I brought everybody on board, or as many people as I possibly could on board. For the most part, people did follow me because I really believe that clients work with you, not the company. They have a relationship with the person that they're working with, and this is over how many years now. And so I decided to launch that company. I didn't leave my full-time position until I would say, I think when I finished my mat leave, I used my mat leave for the year to build my company continuously. So as the baby slept, put her down, I started working, calling, basically hustling and hitting the ground, running as hard as I could to get as much business as I could because I didn't want to go back to the other company. I loved what I was doing, but I needed to do things on my terms. And plus, I was dealing with my health issues as well still. And so it just made sense for me. It lined up for me. And so um, just early struggles were really, capital is always a big thing, right? How do you start a company without having too much money? And so that was always in the back of my mind. How do other people start businesses when there's no money there? And how do you grow? And I think that I think I probably should have tapped into more resources back then, but I decided to tackle this on my own and say, okay, well, I'm not going to buy any inventory until I get concrete orders. So that's what I did. I started getting orders, and then I contacted the manufacturers to say, I have orders now. I need to get some business. But then I couldn't pad any of the inventory and the orders because I didn't have enough money to keep going with that. And as everyone's aware, there's a lot of aspects to running a business. It's operational, hiring people. There was so much involved. And so I basically, like I said, from zero, started getting orders, started buying inventory, and from there, things just basically took off. And this is as much as and I'll dive into what my solutions are in just a second, but it's a very niche space. And getting those competitor conversions was crucial. Yes, people followed me from Thermo, but I really want to continue growing and getting new business because that's how you get, that's how you grow your business. And so that was really crucial at that time. And I think it's always crucial. I don't think that ever stops. But it's something that I had to learn the hard way. And I probably didn't have to make it as hard, but I did make it harder for myself at that time. With that said, use the resources now that are available because there's wonderful resources. Accelerate, Altitude Accelerator is one of them. And so some of the milestones, just building my own brand. I was so happy and so proud to launch my own brand of products that we have. We found a good manufacturer overseas. I was trying to keep that within North America, but as the years went by, competition was fierce, and in order to remain competitive, we had to look outside. We had to go overseas to get our components and our products made. And so, that was a real milestone. Just I was so thrilled to launch my own brand, and that's called SpecCheck. And then, of course, last year, developing ResultsPlus, we tapped into what our clients were doing. And again, these are people that I've known for the last 30 years. And I personally called many of them, actually. A lot of them they already know me, but I was starting to call everybody saying, how are you recording results? What are you guys doing? How are you capturing all these results? What are you doing with these tests? And they were expressing a lot of gaps. They were handwriting on a piece of paper, and then they were they were photocopying. And I thought, oh my gosh, there has to be a better way. And so we launched our first phase of the software designed to help our clients capture the results, store them electronically, and then be able to input that information into a CRM or an EMR or electronic health record, whatever the case may be. And then, of course, some other milestones, just the recognition that I've been receiving. I'm so honored and so blessed to be just considered for these awards. And this is, I don't want to say I was looking for validation, but it's wonderful to know that the hard work that I've put in is being recognized, and this is possible for everybody and anybody. And so big thing for myself and the company. It's my team. It takes a team, it takes a village, and this is what we were able to accomplish. And then of course expanding into the global market. So for many years we focused on the Canadian marketplace, and we started expanding into the US, of course. And because of the trade missions that I've been on, I've received MOUs from Taiwan and Vietnam, and so we're in a great position now that we're able to scale for our products, but also the software. I'm receiving requests for various customization, and there's so much that I'll dive into and tell you about. But major milestone for us, and of course, building those partnerships and that recognition with the banks, with the government. I'm honored to represent our wonderful country, and then there's so much more coming up, and this has all led to some of the key lessons. I want to point out, yes.
Okay, you have the turn. I'm off.
I'm sorry. I think there's some.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, Sharmila.
Sorry
Don't
about
worry
that.
about
Okay.
it.
Okay. Because I have a different screen, so forgive me if I don't see a hand up. Maybe just let me know if there's a question. Um, so all of that led to a lot of some very important key lessons. The biggest one I'll mention is just fail. There's no such thing as failure. I believe the word fail, well, it's an acronym, first attempt in learning. That's one of the biggest lessons that.
Sorry, Sean, I'm gonna mute you. Thank you.
Okay.
I think he's trying to figure out the technicalities. No worries, Sharmila.
No problem,
Carry
no
on.
problem. So yeah, just don't be afraid of that word fail or failure, because these are all part of the lessons over the years, and I'll share some more advice later. But these are some of the lessons that I personally learned. That resilience, like especially when the pandemic hit, I mean, just like a lot of other businesses, lost so much revenue, and I thought, oh my God, how am I going to pay my team? How am I going to stay in business? And I found, I mean, I basically took that challenge and I turned into an opportunity. I was able to find products to sell to the point where we were the only company in Canada that had access to COVID tests for about a year and a half. And so it was wonderful. I mean, that was a great positive boost to the company. And it's all about pivoting when you need to, and not being afraid to take a risk and learn from those beautiful failures, because that's what teaches you, especially being an entrepreneur. And so our mission, just getting into again why I do what I do and what we've been recognizing within our system here. A lot of challenges within the healthcare system, and these are just a few of them that we've identified with and that we're trying to bridge the gaps with. But getting that information, that data, that's important. The diagnostic processes. My heart goes to underserved and remote communities that don't have regular access to healthcare. And so we want to take from all the challenges, and we are building solutions that are adaptable, that are scalable, just make sense for various communities. So when we develop products, or as we develop our software, I'm looking at the of how we're helping the community, like how we're helping healthcare within our own communities. It starts with us, right? It starts within our system, within our community. How can we tackle the healthcare constraints that we're facing? And this is not just in Canada, by the way, this is on a global level. And so with the solutions, with the products, the hardware that we have, and then combine that with our software, we can improve that accessibility. We can help empower healthcare professionals to getting that patient-centric care. Obviously, that's a mission for everyone, and that's already happening. But there's a lot that's happening within our system right now where we can't get doctor's appointments for weeks on end. We don't. A lot of patients stay home and they don't understand what's happening with their health. We want to encourage individuals to be more proactive when it comes to their care. And again, that ties into what I was going through. And so everything that you see in front of you here is because of things that I've seen, that I've personally experienced, and that we're hearing from our clients on a daily basis. And so anyone that has limited accessibility to testing, we want to bridge that gap. Why can't they have products that make sense? COVID was a great sort of pathway to at-home testing. We were all using COVID tests, every single one of us. I mean, if you weren't, that's great. You didn't have COVID or you weren't afraid of it. But for the most part, they were being handed out at pharmacies, companies. We were selling a lot of them. It was the way of living for a while, and that wasn't that long ago. And so that paved the way in terms of the concept of at-home testing, understanding your health on your terms at home, because at the end of the day, it's having that peace of mind. And so we want to offer that peace of mind to patients, and that's where that patient-centric care comes into play. And this is again on a global level. We can change how healthcare is delivered globally. Any questions so far?
I have a question actually. You mentioned a lot about building strategic relationships and partnerships, and I think that's something you had always done with your initial job at Thermo Fisher and then carried it into Spectrum Medical as well as Results Inc. So sometimes the founders they focus on their product, their business, but I know this particular element plays a big role in growing your company. So could you share your insights on that? Like how do you do it so well?
You know, the word, like, it's just about nurturing those relationships. Like I think understanding what your clients need, paying attention to what's happening. I won't say it's easy. It's not easy. It's just something that over the years, I just started paying attention to what people were telling me. It's that psychology
Mhm.
of just human interaction and buying. If they told me personal details about themselves, like, oh, I went on vacation, I took my daughter. Oh, okay. So I make a note of that. That's in my CRM. And then I'll ask them, or I just, you would ask them, how was your vacation? How's your dog? How's your daughter? And that's how I built that. But also, I don't like to give people answers that I don't know, or I don't like to give people solutions I don't know the answers to, or, I want to make sure that if I don't know something, it's okay not to know something. I'm going to get back to you on that. I'll never tell a story or a lie by any
Mhm.
means to win someone's business. Is based on that's my integrity, that's my character. So it's just all based on honesty, and that honesty has obviously followed me, and my clients know that. Like our clients that are loyal really know that we're going to tell you as it is, even if they don't like the answer, or whatever the situation is. We're also going to be transparent always. And I think
Thank
that's
you.
that's a really key aspect of that. That's a great
Yeah,
question.
my takeaway is like being authentic, being an active listener. So
Yes,
thanks for sharing that.
of course. Thank you. And so just I want to give a little insight of what our solutions are and what we do. And I won't get into extreme detail, but um, Spectrum Medical is really point of care testing. So rapid testing. Best example would be the rapid COVID test or at-home pregnancy test that we see on the shelves, but now amplified into other markets or other types of categories for health areas. So substance abuse, other types of infectious disease like streptococcus, meningitis. I mean, there's so many different types of infectious disease products. Women's health, we're expanding into menopause, ovulation, other types of fertility screening. We have routine testing. So anything that's rapid. So think 5 to 10 minute results versus waiting days on end for results. And by no means am I saying that we're trying to eliminate the need for laboratories or physicians. We want to work with the system, and having these at-home tests that patients and consumers and healthcare providers can use for quick results, that eases the pain of, for example, if I mean, this is my own situation. My daughter had strep. I even had strep. I ran a rapid test, went to the doctor. I need antibiotics. I would show the result, and I would say to them, the doctor, I have streptococcus. I need antibiotics. Who wants to wait days on end for a bacterial culture when we can get a 5 minute result? And so that's the type of thinking that we're trying to help educate consumers on. Healthcare providers know it, but it's just a matter of getting everyone on board. So those are the type of products that Spectrum has, and again, that's my own brand. And then Results Plus is the software component designed to bridge the gap between the products and what we do with those results. And we're now incorporating a lot of AI and data-driven information. It's the metrics, it's the insights that are really important. So when we take a product that's being used at home, even simple things like Lyme disease, we have a rapid Lyme disease test. So if a patient picks that product up in the store, they can scan the back of a QR code, and then our platform will walk them through the entire process. And so by linking the two and bridging those gaps, we now have informed metrics that the healthcare provider can have access to. And there's more to my software, where for the healthcare modules, we have so many more components and working parts to it. But we want to help capture as much relevant information from the patient as possible so that the healthcare provider can make those informed decisions for immediate action or proactive vision with their healthcare. But also getting those comprehensive reports. What are the risk analyses? How are we managing those patient information? What are we doing with the data? Again, we're interested in getting that ethically sourced anonymous information and data so that we can help research down the road as well. So we're trying to bridge all of that together to make it cohesive and have that synergy between rapid testing. And similarly, if a patient's testing at home, I'll give you a really good example. During the pandemic, there were a lot of false negatives floating around because of improper specimen collection, patients not fully understanding what the double line meant or what the control line was meant to do. So our technology, our software will help them through the process. So, okay, step one, how do you collect? What are you doing? And what it gives them the step-by-step workflow and process so that they have everything in front of them. They can collect their data, get a report, and go see their doctor or pharmacy for immediate follow-up. Again, we want that channel to keep going. We don't want to eliminate the need. There's obviously always a need for physicians and labs and whatnot. We just want to get everyone to be working together with this, because a lot of people are testing at home. And again, it's happening now in Canada, but it's skyrocketing across the US and Asia right now, and actually all parts of the world. So this is what we're trying to accomplish. And hopefully I haven't lost anybody. I'm happy to answer any questions. If I'm going too fast, let me know too. I get a little passionate, overly passionate, I go really quickly, but happy to stop if there's any questions or pause.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a quick pause and request audience if they have any questions, you can either put them in chat or raise your virtual hand and we'll take it up from there. Okay, no questions yet. Go ahead,
Okay.
Sharmila.
Okay, excellent. So this is, sort of just taking from what I just mentioned about just in the previous screen here about what our solutions are and what we're trying to do. And again, it's not just the consumer, but it's a healthcare provider, having that sustainability, improving the workflow. And so we are taking it upon ourselves now to use AI to help offer or improve the accessibility for not just our solutions, but we're thinking, manufacturers, we're talking about white labeling. I mean, there's so much we want to do with our software, but we want to help improve accessibility worldwide. Having predictive measures can also help with care because we're given a lot of information, and there's some great companies in the room today that are in the same space, what I'd love to connect with, by the way. And we're all trying to, I think we all see the vision of we need to improve how healthcare is offered, delivered, captured. And so we want to have that seamless integration. And then again, what are we doing with that information? How do we connect these results to the providers? And how do we get more people to understand the importance of being proactive? Just quickly touching on another example, I don't know if anyone's aware, but there's about 1.5 million Canadians that have no clue that they're pre-diabetic. Why? So the key with that is, we're working with various pharmacies right now to help increase awareness on that. Pharmacists now have expanded scope of practice. There's a reason for that because of the constraints. Like I said, you can't get a doctor's appointment. You're waiting hours on end at a hospital. So pharmacists rather are equipped to be able to handle that type of testing, and they understand that. So we're working with them to help spread the word test yourself. There's nothing, there's no harm in testing yourself and better understanding your health. So if we can all work together to be proactive with our healthcare, that would trickle into minimizing healthcare, the burden of healthcare costs to our system, and obviously, help mitigate so many of these risks that we're all facing. And so AI is the future. I really believe that. It's not just having a product and then leaving them be to do their testing. We have to bridge those gaps. We have to help them understand what to do with all this information. And that's where AI comes in, the step-by-step process and analysis of helping the patient and the healthcare provider better understand what's happening. And then again, what do we do with all that information at the end of the day? So if we're collecting all this information, how can we best use all of these resources to improve the situation, to improve our healthcare system, again, not just in North America, but globally. And so we've embedded some various algorithms and predictive measures so that when people are going into various healthcare settings, and something I didn't mention, and I apologize, we work with various market segments. So I mentioned pharmacies, we work with clinics, physicians, hospitals, prisons, jails, private organizations, fertility clinics. I mean, there's so many markets that we work with. And so every single market has a need for these products. And if we can all work together cohesively, and all the manufacturers of all these products can work together with this software and help patients identify with better health measures, we can really change how the entire outcome of what we're seeing right now. And so that's what we're trying to do, and this is what we're trying to accomplish with our software as well as our solutions. And I don't know, the government, the ministry is actually, they're always making a lot of changes when it comes to what's covered by OHIP. And this is just Ontario, obviously. But what I'm finding now is my sister has a medical clinic in Toronto, and she's seeing that a lot of these tests are not being covered by OHIP. So, for example, vitamin D. There are severe contraindications to your health if you have deficient vitamin D levels, but that's not covered by OHIP. So, many physicians and clinics are using rapid tests. And even if it is covered, the physicians want to know or have 5-minute results for, say, strep or influenza or RSV. We're slowly getting to that point where they want to help identify that quicker and then have follow-up laboratory screening. But at least it gives, again, the patient, we have to think about the patient and think about yourself being in a clinic. You want to know now. You don't want to wait for days. And then, especially if you're having a hard time with something, we don't want to wait that long. And so, this is what our mission has been, and it ties all together with AI and the medtech space, and it's precisely how we've had to pivot. I would say it's my team and myself, but we've had to pivot over the years, right? Taking from what's been working, selling products, but there was that obvious gap. And so I thought, well, AI is the magic term. Everyone's talking about it. If you don't have AI in your business or to some capability or some format, I don't want to say behind, but we're going to get behind. So it's always about staying ahead of the trends, understanding your market, and knowing what's needed and getting those the stats and the important metrics. I've been working closely with the trade commissioners globally. They're happy to share a lot of insights to companies that want to know information about what's happening in various countries. And so I've taken from all of that. We've discussed it as a group internally with our company, and this is where we're at, trying to incorporate AI, bridging the gaps between medical device and software, and then using this information efficiently and effectively to really help patients and help individuals across Canada. Are there any questions about that? I'm happy to get into more detail. I just kept it light, but if you would like to ask any detailed questions, I'm happy to help answer.
All good, Sharmila.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Great. Taking all that, and if anyone wants to connect after, I'm happy to have a conversation and connect with you. And so this is my personal advice just for entrepreneurs in general. Don't be afraid to think big. I limited myself for a long time. I mean, imposter syndrome is real. And I'm the first to admit that and there are times I might still do that on occasion. It's been a process to just get my mind out of it. And because of that, I was thinking small, thinking I can't do that. I can't go after those big clients. It's just not possible. But it is possible. During COVID, I worked with Magna, Pepsi. There were some big names that we worked with, and I stepped outside. I told you I stepped outside of my comfort zone, and I'm glad that I did, because if I hadn't, I wouldn't have been able to accomplish a lot of the recent recognitions and just building those relationships with certain key accounts. So break into it. Don't be afraid. So think big. Say yes to everything. Being an entrepreneur means your resilience is going to be tested. If it hasn't yet, I'm not suggesting or asking that. I don't want that for you, but that's something that happened with me, and the journey has been extremely difficult. But it's that perseverance and persistence, and I'm still on it, by the way. Every entrepreneur faces challenges all the time. And so my advice to you is just to keep going. Don't give up, and get rid of that imposter syndrome if you have it, because it's just going to limit you. And again, just collaborating, building those alliances with as many people as you possibly can. Even if you think that a certain person is not in your space, for example, or they want to talk to them. Get that network going and start building anyways, because you never know who knows someone else that could potentially help you. I believe things happen for a reason and people come into your path for a reason. And I won't get into my spiritual side too much, but I really do believe that. So those partnerships are really key. And again, just give them a chance, because you never know where that journey takes you. And think about what you know well, and your why. Have your like understand your why for your business. The money follows. I always believe that the profit and the money will follow your passion. So identify with that. Know what you're trying to accomplish, and know who you're targeting. But what is your impact? What are you trying to accomplish? And then tie it into your why. As I mentioned, my why is I want to take from my healthcare challenges and then the solutions that we have, so that we can project that and help as many people as we possibly can worldwide. And so it's those meaningful connections and situations and problems that we can all solve together. And that's what I encourage everyone. And thank you. That was my journey. That was
Thank
my
you so much,
story. I
Sharmila.
hope I was able to enlighten everyone, and I'm happy to, again, answer any questions if you have any.
Yeah, I definitely have one. So you have been working with Giselle for quite a long, I guess 7 months. And prior to that, you worked with Paul. You also met some of our advisors like Jonathan at a 360
Mhm.
VAB. So could you share a little bit about how advisory support services helped you in your journey? And at what stage is it appropriate for any founder to approach for external advice?
Anytime. I don't think there's a right time for approaching. Just I wish I did it sooner, actually. I wish I had done like I told you, I was trying. I don't even know what I was thinking years ago. I just didn't realize. And it's part of, okay, I'm jumping into business. Let's do it. I can do it. And I didn't realize how many valuable resources like Altitude there are. So working with Giselle and Paul, I mean, oh, they're just wonderful. Just wonderful. And I met Jonathan, like such a great guy. And so you've created a wonderful platform. Like Altitude is a wonderful platform that everyone, I mean, it's a great resource, great safe space. There's no judgment. That's the whole thing, right? Knowing that you can confidently speak with advisors and mentors without feeling judged. And I can tell you, after so many years, I still make mistakes. Like I still make a lot of mistakes. But the thing is, recognizing it and then figuring out what to do with it. And Altitude has made that possible for me to be able to do some really just strategic thinking, working with Giselle more recently. She helped me
Mhm.
with my pitch. I'm raising funding for Results Plus, and that's how I met Jonathan. I was able to do that 360 pitch, and that was a lot of fun. It was really nerve-wracking because that was my first one, but it was such a great experience. And again, I received non-judgmental advice and critique, right? And that's what you need. That's what we all need. We take these little components and it helps build us into a better and stronger entrepreneur. And it's always about learning. You're not going to know everything all the time. I just refuse. If someone says they know everything, I just can't. I don't. And it's been so many years. So I think it's
Mhm.
continuous evolvement and evolution, sorry, continuous and evolution and continuous learning. And I believe, like I said, I meet people for a reason. I want to take what they know. I want to understand their journey. And it's again why I'm talking about mine. Hopefully someone is taking from that and we can all learn together. But Altitude is a great, great resource. I highly recommend it. And there's no such thing as the wrong or best time. Just do it. Just contact. And
Yes.
that's for anything, right? Any part of your business. I've been tackling every foundation of my business recently, just not just with Altitude, but just in general, looking at the financial models, looking at the sales and marketing. I've been dissecting everything because I got to the point where if I didn't do that, I wouldn't be able to accommodate any kind of growth down the road,
Mhm.
right? And I did have the like I still have we're still doing well, but the thing is I had crazy profit and growth during COVID, but again, if you don't have the foundation set up, that can cause issues for you down the road, and that's what happened with me too. And here I am, and talking to your investors and advisors and mentors has been a valuable part of my process.
And let me tell you, at the presentation, you didn't sound nervous at all, or
Oh,
you
thanks.
did it so well. So we
Thank
have
you.
one
Thank
more
you.
question
Mhm.
from Zara. Zara, go ahead, unmute yourself, and you can ask your question to Sharmila directly.
Thank you. Thank you, Sharmila. This is a great session. I learned a lot today, and I would love to tap into your genius here. So for my startup, I'm at an early stage prototype with some early traction. I'm also in a few startup programs, but the challenge that I have is to lock down my ICP, which are caregivers in Canada. Do you have any tips on penetrating this market, especially as it's B2C?
Mm, let me think. I mean, so I'll be transparent and say that my companies have been really B2B all these years, and the B2C component is a newer realm. With that said, have you connected, and sorry, where are you? Is it just in Canada or are
Yes, Canada.
you
I'm
just in
focusing on
Canada?
Canada.
Gosh, you know what? I would like to, if it's okay, get back to you on that because I can't think of anything off the top of my head and I don't want to just give you an answer. I'd like to, I'm happy to help you, and if I can get your information, I'm happy to share that. I'm just trying to think who you could contact right now, and nothing's coming to my mind, but um have you tried just there's various associations and even just starting with the GPs maybe or someone the referral points. Have you tried doing that to get into these markets a bit further?
No, that's
That might
a
be a
great
good
next
starting
step.
point for
Yeah,
you. Yeah. Um, I mean, that's off the top of my head. I'm going to do some more thinking for you, and I'd like to get back to you if that's okay.
no worries. Thank you
Yeah.
so
Okay.
much. Appreciate
Okay.
that.
And Zara, I would like to introduce you to a couple of our advisors as well, who are very active in this field, so they can definitely guide you in the right direction. But thank you,
That would be
Sharmila, for your
That's
insights.
perfect answer right there. I should just said that. I don't know why I was I just drew a blank, but yes. But if I come
I don't know
across
the
anything,
answer
I'll
as
share it
well.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why one insight from Sharmila was to leverage the expertise and insights from the people who are already in the industry. It's very crucial.
Hmm.
And we got some comments in the chat. Monica says, awesome, such positive vibes. And
Thank
we
you.
have question from Tom. Yeah, Tom, go ahead.
Hi, Sharmila. Thanks very
Hi,
much for
Tom.
that presentation. I thought it was really informative. And actually, there seems to be a lot of parallels between what you've done and what we're kind of trying to do. So maybe what I'll do, I'll send you an email. Maybe we could kind of
Sure.
have a quick call next week if you're available. But I have some other, I guess what I was kind of wondering, you seem to have different products for different markets. Like there seem to be like the B2C, and then you've got fertility clinics and hospitals and different kind of vendors or different kind of targets. And we're kind of wrestling a little bit with that internally for our products. Can you maybe comment on first how you identify like a ideal customer? I think would be what I'm interested in, and then secondly, how big is your organization? Do you have different sales forces, or is there different people sort of tasked with different markets and different customers?
So I'll start with your second question. We're very small, actually. I've kept a very lean operation for many years, and that's part of some of the, I don't want to say mistakes, but some of the things I've learned. Hiring too quick, too fast, hiring the wrong people. And so, no, we're a very small team. There's 5 of us now. We're very small. So, I do have a salesperson, but I also have independent sales contractors as well. But in terms of your second, and sorry to continue on with that, I have someone in marketing and someone managing, orders and customer care. So again, very small. I've also contracted my warehouse out to a third party, 3PL. I didn't want to carry that cost. It just didn't make sense. So very lean. And like I said, I've been reevaluating all foundations of that, and I've stripped down a lot of things because it just wasn't making sense. And it's tough hiring the right people. There's a lot of good people out there, but it's hard, really hard hiring the right people for your company. And that's something I've struggled with. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs will and have, right? I mean, Jonathan knows this is hard. It's hard finding the right people. So
Difficult to let go as well, too, right? I guess if you're used to doing something and then to find.
I hate it. If someone takes joy in that, there's something wrong. There's something really, no offense to anybody if you do. It kills me to have to let someone go. But the thing, what I've learned over the years is, I thought, okay, I want to give them another chance and I'm going to keep going because I'm really nice. But then that hurts your business. So
No, sorry. I meant as an entrepreneur, you letting go of some of the things that you've been doing.
I'm sorry. I thought you meant letting go of people.
No.
Sorry. Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. And my apologies. Yeah. So yeah, the letting go, there's a lot of, it's your baby, right? It's your business. It's really hard to surrender control when it comes to that, but it takes a team, it takes a village. You can't do everything by yourself. That's a hard lesson in reality that I've learned as well. Obviously, I still do a lot of the components and activities involved with the businesses. But I think it's key to recognize when you have to delegate, and there are other solutions now where you could outsource other things, internationally if you want, and there's virtual everything, and again, AI. There's a lot of things we can do, but it's important to recognize you can't do everything because that burnout is real. I've been there. I
guess as you get bigger too, it just becomes impossible.
It does. But that's why, and that's why hiring right for me, and that's something that I have to look into and doing just getting the right people. Now to answer your other part of the question, you were asking about which markets to focus on. Personally, I I was doing the spaghetti test. Okay, don't copy, don't do that. But I was like throwing the spaghetti to see what stuck. Okay, and you don't want to always do that. It doesn't always work. In the sense that you can get really excited and you have these great solutions, and then you want everyone to use it, and you're going to throw it everywhere. But start smaller and work your way up. That's my personal advice. I'm not saying you shouldn't go after a bigger demographic, but so you mentioned B2C. If there's one key market, focus on that and then keep scaling, because if you do too much, again, it's really difficult. And then will you be able to accommodate that growth as well, right? Because you start getting orders, you can't fill them, there's a problem as well, right? I mean, great. I don't understand your full business, but that's my advice. And like going back, so for many years, actually the first, 10 years, I was mainly just substance abuse. That was it. I didn't get outside that. And then I thought, okay, now we can add other types of products, because then we have that understanding of what's required, and there's Health Canada and what to do with logistics. But I wouldn't but it's so hard not to when you're an entrepreneur, because we're so excited and passionate, right?
See about an opportunity and you go after it.
There's nothing wrong with planting seeds. Plant all the seeds. I'm just saying, tackle one little bit at a time if you can, but plant the seeds. I'm still planting seeds. Yeah.
Great. Thanks very much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, Sharmila. Do we have any more questions? I don't see any hands raised. Okay. Please join me in thanking Sharmila once again for
Thank you so
being
much.
so candid and giving us her time. I know she's been traveling a lot, so I don't know if she's jet lagged or not, but thank you so much, Sharmila.
Of course.
Great
Yeah.
presentation.
Thank
don't
you.
seem
I just
jet
got back
lagged.
last night from Florida with my daughter, but that was just a little like personal vacation just to unwind because I burnt out. But thank you for the opportunity and thank you, Rituja, for coordinating all of this into Altitude. It's a wonderful organization, honestly. It's been great, and I've met a lot of great people because of your association. So, thanks for the opportunity to talk about my journey. And if anyone wants to connect with me after, I mean, I'm happy to help in any way.
Yeah, do you want to drop your LinkedIn profile maybe in the chat?
Oh, yeah. Let me
Yeah,
just,
everyone can connect with you there.
absolutely. Yeah, let
And
me
I'm
just,
gonna share our newsletter link. So if you're looking for many such webinars or upcoming events, which are hosted by our community, do subscribe for our newsletter. We also share the latest opportunities related to grants, incentives, any other funds. So it's like we are building a great founder community. So yeah, please subscribe so that you can receive those updates.
so I just
All
put
right.
my link for LinkedIn, sorry, and my email as well as my cell. I mean, like I said, anyone's welcome to connect and happy to help in any way.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Sharmila.
Thank you
Thanks
so much,
everyone for
everyone. Thanks so
joining.
much
Have
for
a good,
attending today. Everyone have a great day. Happy weekend.
happy weekend. Bye bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Sharmila. See
Thank
ya.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye.